Let's welcome our Governor, Richard Bauman.
Thank you, Daniel. In each of our lives, there are times when things come in, stay for a while, and then leave, never to come again. And yet our lives are changed forever as a result. Fellow Toastmasters, Jim, Sheila, most welcome guests. Such an event happened to me just a few weeks ago. It started out as an ordinary day. I went to work. At lunch, I went out. I was driving back to the parking area at Amgen at the end of lunch, and when I got towards the bottom of the underground structure, having gone round and round several levels to the bottom, I came across my friend, Agata, and her car stopped looking out the window at something in the parking structure. When she saw me, she said, "There's a cat there." And then she drove past and went on up to the surface and went on her way. Sure enough, there was a cat sitting there in the driving lane. So I parked. I went over and I looked at the cat and I thought, this cat may be in trouble if it's going to stay here where everybody's driving. I reached down and the cat came right over, very friendly, didn't seem scared at all. And I thought, what am I going to do? If I leave the cat here, somebody might run over it. It's obviously lost. How did it get down to the bottom of the parking structure? And I thought, I could take it home, I could adopt it, I could take it up and give it to the guards, but what would they do with it? I could take it someplace and let it loose. And I really didn't know what to do. And I looked at the cat a little more. I noticed that its fur was jagged in one place. And I thought, it may be hungry, it may have gotten out someplace. So I need information. I need to take this cat to the vet and find out what's going on with the cat. I remembered that on Thousand Oaks Boulevard, there was a store that had a sign on the front that said, "The Cat Doctor, loving care just for cats." So I picked up the cat. It purred and let me pick it up. I put it in my car. He seemed quite content in the car. And I drove to the Cat Doctor. Never been inside before, but I went in and saw that there was a diploma from a Dr. Karen Lovelace, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. I waited a little bit and then I was seen. She examined the cat. I pointed out to her that he had a problem with his coat on the side here. And she said, "That's from fleas. He's not injured. That's because he has fleas and he's been scratching. He's actually caused that himself." But she looked at the cat in all other regards. He was healthy. She said he was well fed, well hydrated. It became, and also he'd been altered. He was a neutered cat. So obviously this was a cat that somebody had taken care of. So my thought about, I'm going to adopt this cat, take it home. I thought, well, I can't do that. Somebody's expecting this cat to be home tonight. And I can't just take the cat. So I sat there wondering what I was going to do as Dr. Lovelace went back in and wrote some notes, and she said that she'd give him a flea shot. She didn't charge me for the exam, but she said, I'll just charge you for the shot, and since you're helping out the stray cat, I'll just charge you for the shot and not the exam. So she went back in, wrote up a little bit of paperwork, and I took some more celebrity pictures of the cat. And the cat, as you can see, even with his itchy spot on his back, seemed quite content. He was not a stray. He was not a wild cat. And then, to my surprise, the assistant came out and they gave me a cat carrier. They said, since you carried him in, you need something to take him back in. So they gave me a cat carrier, and the cat just went right into it. You can see the back side as he goes into the carrier. So obviously he had been here before. He had been in a carrier before and had no problems with it. In fact, once he got in, he then looked out to enjoy the world going by. I ended up, after the cat got his flea shot, I took him back to the place across the street from the Amgen parking lot which was a residential area. I opened up the carrier and the cat got out and stretched and looked around. And he seemed to be quite contented there. And I thought, well, maybe this is where he lives. He doesn't seem to be alarmed at all. I let him go. Next day and the day after, for about a week, every time I went to work, I'd look over there. I never saw the cat again. But for that 1 hour, our lives crossed, my life and the life of this little creature. All living things are sacred, whether it's the two-legged, the four-legged, the winged ones, the green trees, the golden wheat out in the fields. All living things interact under what the Lakota people call the Great Spirit, the Wakantanka. The great web of life is something that is always connecting all forms of life. If we put love into it, the love comes back through the web and comes back to us. If we put in indifference or selfishness or neglect, the neglect is amplified, and it takes 7 generations for it to undo itself. So now is the time to invest love in the web of life. With all due apologies to Babby Green, there are people who say, was the cat's lucky day to be saved? What a lucky cat he. But from the eyes of the cat, it wasn't like that. It was the cat, in fact, who saved me. Mr. President.
You might not know Richard is an American Indian, by the way.